Okay, so it seems that there's been a little bit of a situation going down with some of the FaZe Connect members getting banned, and one of them in particular is Runie Ruse, who we actually covered the other day for a very interesting, obviously, clip that was going around that was really inventive and creative, and a lot of the community have been enjoying. But essentially, Rooney posted this post today saying, "I'm banned from Twitch. They can't handle evil women, I guess." And yeah, obviously, that does suck because, as you guys know from this clip here, there was a really cool clip of her essentially tricking her entire chat into thinking there was this like real Steam page or whatever, or this Steam page was like ripping her kind of subathon, sub month, whatever you want to call it, right? They were ripping it off and turning it into a game when it was actually an announcement for the actual event itself with a ton of stuff planned. And obviously, she was supposed to be doing all of this stuff during this month, and I think she still is going to go ahead and do that, but obviously it's been made trickier by Twitch banning her, because if you go over to her account right now, you cannot see it. It says this channel is unavailable due to a violation of Twitch's community guidelines or terms of service. But why exactly is this? Well, obviously we go down into the chat, and we've got EP here, another FaZe Connect member, saying, huh? And they said, "For fraud, EP, me, the woman who has never told a single lie in my entire life, accused of fraud," shaking my head. Now, obviously, you guys know that is a joke. She obviously does create a lot of lies. Obviously, that's why Ruse is in her name, right? And obviously, as you saw with this, she, played a little trick on people. Now, what makes me think, this could be related to the ban is obviously due to the fraud kind of thing aside of it, which could potentially be the reason why she got banned. Now, it isn't 100% the reason, but obviously we do know the reason is for fraud, apparently. That's what she says. But again, maybe it is for a different reason. Maybe she's joking about the fraud thing. But again, they do have a fraud kind of reason, and they say here in their TOS, spam, scams, and other malicious conduct. This includes fraud. Said, for example, you may not post spam. Obviously, we know that. Distribute unauthorized advertisements. Engage in phishing. Defraud Twitch and others. Engage in viewership tampering. Sell or account users. Engage in cheating. So again, a lot of this doesn't really seem like that would be the case. And again, they don't have much on fraud. Like, they have like defraud Twitch. But again, that's to do with Twitch, like more so. So again, I don't know whether it is due to this clip, which has obviously come out about the Ruse-tober and her tricking her entire chat. But I feel like that would be a little bit harsh if that was the case. And it could also just be someone who has obviously reported them. Sometimes, a lot of the time, some people who dislike a VTuber or a creator will obviously mass report an account. And mark it as like fraud or something, because these companies will take more notice to fraud cases than other cases, because if fraud is going on, that could be potentially the company's money in danger, so they will take a look at it more often than others. But again, it is crazy that she did end up getting banned for that, because again, she hasn't done anything fraudulent, I don't think. And even if this clip was the case, the one where she tricked her entire chat, that would be pretty crazy, because that isn't fraud, that's just a little trick. People do it all the time. So again, I don't know if that was the case. But also, we got another case too with Chisaka Irie, who is also another FaZe Connect member, saying, "Welcome to the club." And it seems like as well, I looked into it, and Chisaka Irie is also... they also got banned from Twitch. Now, I don't know when this happened. I don't know if this was a while ago or this is literally at the same time. But I do think this is absolutely crazy too, that both of these FaZe Connect members are banned. And hey, maybe it's a matter of time before another one gets banned as well. And obviously, a lot of people have been commenting on this, saying Veronica must have reported for abuse and tried to delete the evidence. Said with how unbelievably regarded Twitch has been for the past few years, this is actually not very surprising to me. I'll be more surprised if any FaZe talents remain on the platform in a year or so. So the hostility to VTubers is becoming more apparent to this day. As a Carl thinks it might have been the Silent Hill stream children quote, and that tracks how normal they are. But again, obviously, Rooney says it's for fraud, but I don't know how legitimate that is. I don't know whether it is 100% for it, but that is what she's saying. They said pretty sure Araka and Irie both got banned for fraud for some reason. So apparently Irie might also have the same case there. And it said, I guess the Twitch mod was really invested in the wheel of weep spins. They really said she ain't evil. Why is she lying? Said, well, there's the wheel of weep, which is completely rigged. I mean, yeah, not sure where the Twitch got their fraud allegations from. So apparently what a lot of people are suggesting here is obviously she has a wheel, which apparently is in quotation marks rigged. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to throw that slander out there. But again, obviously the chat don't really care about it. But I guess that could also count towards that. So maybe that is why they have banned them for fraud. I don't know. They said Twitch hate. It said, I guess they finally figured out. Good on Twitch. It said, I hope you appeal and get released. Last I remember seeing, it seems like the viewers buy bits and subs for stolen cards. Then when the funds get revoked, the channel gets banned for fraud, which could also be the case. It says, you're like the 10th major VTuber I've heard of this happening to in the past year or so. I don't know what the hell triggers it. And yeah, this is a very common thing. VTubers being banned for fraud is pretty common. You know, you see it happening quite a bit, even if they haven't done anything in particular. But again, some people will find the smallest of reasons to try and get you banned, which obviously is pretty terrible. And yeah, obviously, Irie has also been banned. But from what I have seen, they haven't really commented on it on their profile, apart from obviously writing in their replies. I don't think they've actually made any kind of statement as to why this has happened. So again, I think it is pretty crazy that, you know, both of them have managed to get banned in this short amount of time. Now, obviously, as I said, this could have affected the Ruse-tober. I don't know if it will, but it seems like obviously she does do like multi-streaming. So most of the streams should be going ahead on YouTube, I feel like, because again, she has been streaming on there anyways. So again, don't worry too much about the Ruse-tober. I think it still is going to go ahead. I mean, Rooney hasn't really provided any kind of update on that, I don't think. So again, I feel like maybe it will just go ahead on YouTube and continue that way. But, you know, it is pretty crazy that she has been banned for fraud, because again, there is no fraudulent activity really going on here. And it's just one of these cases where I think a lot of VTubers, you know, get banned for like whatever reason at all. Usually whenever you think VTubers getting banned, they usually get banned for like attire reasons or something like that. You know, they get banned for what their VTuber is wearing, which we have seen as well. I looked through streamer bans because they haven't even come up on streamer bans, by the way. I don't know if that's because they're not partnered. I don't know if they were partnered. I was unsure on that, but again, they haven't actually come up with that. But there's been some other VTubers as well who've also got banned for other reasons too, which I think is pretty crazy. And one of them I saw was for like an attire reason. But again, that does not seem to be the case. It seems to be fraud, which is, yeah, crazy. People saying the unfathomable rage and pravity of Runie Ruse banned from Twitch for their own safety. So just say the word Rooney, all of the lunatics are ready to ride out. So get used to it. So again, a lot of people are just like kind of making jokes and things, saying it's a badge of honor. You wouldn't be a female VTuber on Twitch without being subjected to their wanton chicanery, which 100% is true, by the way. Like, you haven't made it as a female VTuber on the platform if you haven't been banned, because again, I feel like they just ban any of them for like no reason at all, right? Say the only reason, the only evil woman Twitch love are the flesh VTuber type. You should stream from a kid's pool in your room, which yeah, is true. And obviously it does seem like they do have a big agenda, obviously, against VTubers. Now, I don't think this is like a targeted thing from Twitch or anything, but I do think obviously they just went, oh, well, we'll just ban them anyways and get rid of it, which they should probably do a little bit of a better job of checking the reports and checking a lot of the stuff that's been coming in. Because again, I have zero clue on how this even happened in the first place. Whether it was someone that mass reported it, whether it was someone at Twitch, you know, staff seeing some feature on a stream which they thought was wrong. But again, we don't know, and we don't also know how long this ban could be for. Like, Rooney hasn't made any updates on how long the ban is going to be for, whether it's going to be a day, whether it's going to be 3 days, whether it's going to be a week or a month, you know, whatever. Because again, fraud tends to be a pretty bad one. You know, usually with attire, they'll just ban you for like a day or two, so you can just fix it. But with fraud, it seems like that seems like a permanent one, you know? And I'm not saying that it is permanent, by the way, it definitely is temporary. But usually with fraud, surely there's some bigger kind of action that needs to be taken there from Twitch if there was actually someone committing fraud rather than a one-day ban. Because obviously if they get banned for fraud and then they just like set up shop and start going again after like a day, that wouldn't really make sense. So I'm a little bit confused on how long this could be, but hopefully it's not long and that she can get back to streaming on Twitch as well. But as I said, it seems like she is streaming over on YouTube, so a lot of the Ruse-tober stuff should be going ahead, unless she obviously says otherwise over on her account. But yeah, very interesting situation. That is obviously why she has been banned for fraud reasons. And yeah, that's about it. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.